Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're diving into 10 powerful Stoic principles that can help you achieve lasting peace of mind. If you're feeling overwhelmed by life's challenges or just want to cultivate more inner calm, these time-tested teachings from ancient philosophy might be the key you've been looking for. Stoicism offers practical wisdom that empowers us to focus on what we can control, let go of unnecessary stress, and embrace life with a clear, peaceful mind. So if you're ready to learn how to live more peacefully, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an insightful video like this one. Let's get started. Number 1. Simplify your life. Stoicism, a philosophy rooted in ancient Greece, offers timeless guidance for simplifying life and achieving tranquility. Central to Stoicism is the principle of focusing on what is within our control. As Epictetus teaches, some things are within our power, such as our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, while others, like external events or other people's opinions, are not. By concentrating on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot, we reduce unnecessary worry and mental clutter. True happiness in Stoic thought lies in living virtuously, not in the pursuit of wealth or social status. Virtue, comprising wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, becomes the foundation of a meaningful life. By prioritizing moral integrity and personal growth over external markers of success, we can simplify our lives and free ourselves from the pressures of societal expectations. Seneca, a Roman Stoic, advocates for a life of simplicity, observing that poverty lies in craving more, not in having less. Embracing voluntary simplicity, living below our means and letting go of excessive material desires, helps us focus on what truly matters. By reducing attachment to possessions, we cultivate freedom from the stress of acquiring and maintaining them, making space for inner peace. Marcus Aurelius emphasizes the importance of living in the present moment, reminding us that we have power over our minds but not over outside events. By focusing on the here and now, we can let go of regrets about the past and worries about the future. Mindfulness in everyday tasks fosters clarity and simplicity, reducing mental and emotional burdens. The Stoic practice of negative visualization, or premeditatio malorum, involves imagining worst-case scenarios. This reflection not only prepares us for life's uncertainties, but also deepens our appreciation for what we already have. By contemplating the potential loss of valued possessions, relationships, or circumstances, we become more content with our present situation and less afraid of change or loss. Simplifying life also involves limiting desires and embracing contentment. According to Stoicism, it is the endless pursuit of unnecessary desires that complicates our lives. By distinguishing needs from wants and seeking fulfillment in relationships, meaningful work, and personal growth, we redirect our energy to what truly enriches our lives. Detachment is another essential Stoic principle. Marcus Aurelius advises us to receive without pride and let go without attachment, reminding us of the transient nature of all things. By acknowledging impermanence, we can reduce emotional turmoil and cultivate equanimity, finding peace even in the face of loss. Self-discipline plays a vital role in maintaining a simplified life. The Stoics encourage us to avoid distractions and fleeting pleasures that lead to dissatisfaction. Instead, by cultivating habits and routines aligned with our values, we can stay focused on meaningful pursuits and avoid unnecessary complications. While Stoicism emphasizes personal responsibility, it also recognizes the value of community. Authentic, supportive relationships based on mutual respect and shared values enrich our lives without adding unnecessary complexity. Quality, rather than quantity, becomes the hallmark of meaningful connections. Finally, the practice of daily reflection helps us stay grounded and aligned with our principles. Marcus Aurelius's personal writings demonstrate the power of this habit. By reflecting on our actions each day, we can assess whether we lived virtuously and focused on what truly matters, allowing us to make adjustments and maintain clarity. In adopting Stoic principles, we strip away the distractions and excesses that complicate our lives, focusing instead on virtue, tranquility, and inner strength. This simplicity becomes a foundation for resilience, freedom, and lasting peace. Number 2. Live in the present moment. Living in the present moment is a practice rooted in many traditions, including Stoicism, mindfulness, and modern psychology. It emphasizes fully experiencing the current moment without being consumed by regrets about the past or anxieties about the future. By focusing on the now, we connect more deeply with reality and make choices that align with our values, fostering clarity, peace, and fulfillment. The present moment is the only reality we have. The past exists only as memories, and the future remains uncertain. Anchoring ourselves in the present helps us engage with what is real and within our control. This focus reduces the stress and anxiety that often arise from overthinking and allows us to appreciate life's simple pleasures, bringing greater contentment and joy. However, barriers such as overthinking, digital distractions, and unresolved emotions can make it challenging to stay grounded in the present. Practicing mindfulness is one way to cultivate presence. By observing our thoughts, emotions, and surroundings without judgment, we learn to stay connected to the current moment. This can be achieved through meditation, deep breathing, or simply paying attention to everyday activities. Engaging fully in what we are doing, avoiding multitasking, and limiting distractions like technology also helps us stay present. Acceptance of what is happening now, without resistance or unnecessary worry, forms the foundation of this practice. Grounding techniques such as focusing on sensory experiences like breath or sound can bring us back when our minds wander. Gratitude is a natural companion to living in the present. When we focus on what we have here and now, it becomes easier to shift our perspective from scarcity to abundance. Reflecting on moments of gratitude, whether through journaling or mindful appreciation, reinforces this mindset and enhances our sense of fulfillment. Philosophical and psychological traditions have long emphasized the value of living in the moment. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, reminds us to confine our attention to the present. This focus enables us to approach life's challenges with calm and wisdom. Similarly, in Buddhism, mindfulness practices encourage us to observe our thoughts and sensations without attachment or aversion. Modern psychology integrates these ideas into therapies like cognitive behavioral therapy, helping individuals manage stress and anxiety by staying grounded in the present. Living in the present moment benefits all areas of life. It improves relationships by fostering deeper connections, enhances focus and productivity by allowing us to concentrate on one task at a time, and promotes emotional well-being by freeing us from the burdens of regret and worry. However, living in the moment does not mean ignoring the future. It is about finding balance, acting intentionally in the present to shape a better tomorrow. Embracing the present moment opens us to the richness of life. Each moment becomes an opportunity to grow, connect, and fully experience the world around us. Through this practice, we discover peace, clarity, and joy, creating a life that feels purposeful and deeply fulfilling. Number 3, practice gratitude. Practicing gratitude is a powerful and transformative habit that has been recognized for centuries across various cultures and philosophical traditions. At its core, gratitude is the practice of acknowledging and appreciating the positive aspects of life, whether big or small. By consistently focusing on what we have, rather than what we lack, gratitude fosters a sense of contentment, peace, and well-being. Below is a detailed exploration of the concept and its benefits. Gratitude involves more than just saying thank you in passing. It's an active, conscious practice of recognizing and reflecting on the things in our lives for which we are grateful. These can be external things like relationships, accomplishments, and material blessings, or internal qualities such as health, strength, and resilience. The key to gratitude is that it shifts our focus from a mindset of scarcity, where we constantly yearn for more, to one of abundance, where we acknowledge and cherish the blessings we already have. One of the main reasons practicing gratitude is so effective is that it rewires the brain. Studies in psychology show that gratitude activates the brain's reward system, leading to feelings of happiness and satisfaction. The more we practice gratitude, the more natural it becomes, and the more we train our brains to focus on positive aspects rather than negative ones. Over time, this can significantly improve our mood, reduce stress, and even enhance physical health. Regular gratitude practice has been linked to better sleep, lower blood pressure, and increased immunity. The benefits of practicing gratitude go beyond individual well-being. It also improves relationships. When we express gratitude towards others, it deepens our connections with them. Whether through a simple thank you, a note of appreciation, or a small act of kindness, showing gratitude fosters a sense of trust, warmth, and reciprocity. In relationships, both personal and professional, acknowledging the efforts and positive qualities of others can create a more positive and supportive environment. In addition, gratitude encourages a shift in perspective. It helps us focus on the present moment, rather than dwelling on past mistakes or worrying about future uncertainties. When we actively look for things to be grateful for, we start to notice more of the good in our lives. Even in difficult situations, gratitude allows us to find meaning and lessons, helping us to navigate challenges with greater resilience. For instance, a difficult work project might teach us valuable skills or help us grow emotionally, and expressing gratitude for these lessons can foster a sense of growth. Practicing gratitude can be done in various ways, and the beauty of it is that it can be tailored to fit into any lifestyle. A simple yet effective method is to keep a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 to 5 things you are grateful for, no matter how big or small. This practice helps to shift your focus from what's lacking in your life to what's already present. You might be grateful for something as simple as a warm cup of coffee, a beautiful sunset, or a kind word from a friend. Another way to practice gratitude is through mindful reflection. Throughout the day, take a moment to pause and mentally acknowledge something you are grateful for. This can be done during routine activities such as walking, eating, or even waiting in line. The goal is to cultivate a sense of mindfulness around gratitude, bringing awareness to the good things in your life as they occur. Gratitude can also be expressed verbally or in writing. Taking the time to thank someone for their kindness, support, or presence not only lifts their spirits, but also reinforces your own feelings of appreciation. A handwritten note, a thoughtful message, or a face-to-face thank you can go a long way in building stronger, more meaningful relationships. Incorporating gratitude into your daily routine has a compounding effect. The more consistently you practice gratitude, the more it becomes a natural part of your life, and the more you begin to notice positive things. Over time, this practice fosters a more optimistic outlook on life and helps you feel more grounded and content. In addition to personal benefits, gratitude has the power to cultivate a sense of community and connection. When people collectively practice gratitude, it creates a culture of appreciation and mutual support. Whether within a family, workplace, or society, when gratitude is actively expressed, it builds a positive atmosphere that encourages collaboration, empathy, and kindness. However, there can be challenges in maintaining a gratitude practice, especially during tough times. It might feel difficult to be thankful when facing adversity, loss, or hardship. In these situations, it's important to remember that gratitude doesn't require ignoring pain or challenges. Rather, it invites us to acknowledge both the struggles and the sources of strength, support, and growth that exist within or around us. Practicing gratitude in difficult times doesn't mean pretending everything is okay. It means finding moments of light amidst the darkness and focusing on what can bring hope and healing. In summary, practicing gratitude is a simple yet profound way to improve mental, emotional, and physical well-being. It helps shift our focus from scarcity to abundance, enhances our relationships, and fosters a greater sense of peace and resilience. Whether through journaling, mindfulness, or expressing thanks to others, cultivating gratitude offers numerous benefits that contribute to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Number 4. Practice self-compassion. Practicing self-compassion is a vital concept that resonates deeply with Stoic philosophy, although the term itself is more modern. Self-compassion refers to treating yourself with kindness, understanding, and patience, especially during times of failure, struggle, or personal difficulty. It involves recognizing that, as humans, we are all vulnerable to pain, error, and imperfection, and rather than being self-critical or harsh, we respond to our own suffering with care and empathy. In Stoicism, while self-compassion is not explicitly mentioned, many of its key principles align with the idea of treating oneself with kindness in the face of hardship. At the heart of Stoicism is the idea of focusing on what is within our control and accepting what is not. This acceptance is crucial for cultivating self-compassion. Instead of getting frustrated or angry with ourselves when things go wrong, Stoicism encourages us to view challenges and mistakes as opportunities for growth and learning. By practicing self-compassion in line with Stoic thought, we can approach our own flaws and mistakes with a mindset that is understanding and constructive, rather than punitive. One of the central Stoic teachings is the idea of the dichotomy of control, which emphasizes that we should only concern ourselves with things that are within our control: our thoughts, our actions, and our responses. Everything else, including the opinions of others or external circumstances, is outside our control. In moments of self-criticism, Stoicism teaches us to reflect on whether the situation is something we could have controlled or whether it's an external factor beyond our influence. For instance, if we make a mistake or experience failure, rather than harshly blaming ourselves. We can use Stoic wisdom to evaluate what we could learn from the situation and what is outside our control. This allows us to approach ourselves with greater understanding and patience. Self-compassion in Stoicism is also related to the practice of acknowledging and accepting our imperfections. The Stoics believe that human beings are naturally imperfect and that our flaws are part of our nature. For instance, Epictetus often reminded his followers that we are fallible and that our mistakes and weaknesses are a part of being human. Rather than chastising ourselves for not being perfect, we are encouraged to embrace our imperfections as part of the human experience. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on his own shortcomings with understanding and self-awareness, recognizing that he was not exempt from the challenges of life. In this sense, practicing self-compassion within the Stoic framework is an acceptance of our inherent human nature and a gentle response to our personal struggles. Another important Stoic concept that supports self-compassion is the idea of amor fati, or love of fate. This practice encourages us to embrace everything that happens in our lives, both good and bad, as necessary and beneficial for our growth. When we practice amor fati, we are reminded to accept our misfortunes, mistakes, and failures with grace, seeing them as opportunities for personal development rather than as sources of shame or regret. By adopting this mindset, we cultivate a sense of self-compassion, as we no longer judge ourselves harshly for experiences that are part of the natural course of life. In moments of difficulty, the Stoics also advocate for reflection and journaling, which can be a form of self-compassion. Marcus Aurelius and Seneca both kept personal journals to process their emotions and thoughts. By regularly reflecting on our actions and feelings in a compassionate way, we can better understand ourselves and recognize our struggles without judgment. This process of self-reflection allows us to address our emotional needs and respond with kindness, rather than succumbing to self-criticism or regret. Moreover, Stoicism teaches that we should recognize our emotions and practice mindfulness around them, but not be ruled by them. When we experience negative emotions, such as anger, guilt, or sadness, instead of beating ourselves up for feeling them, we can approach these emotions with the same detachment and understanding that Stoicism advocates for all external events. Emotions, like everything else, are temporary, and by practicing mindfulness and awareness, we can learn to accept them without letting them define us. This ability to observe our feelings without judgment aligns with the practice of self-compassion, because it allows us to acknowledge our emotional experiences with empathy, without falling into self-criticism. In addition, practicing gratitude, another key Stoic practice, complements self-compassion. By regularly acknowledging the positive aspects of our lives, even during difficult times, we shift our focus from self-blame or frustration to a more balanced perspective. Gratitude helps us recognize the efforts we've made, the lessons we've learned, and the strengths we've cultivated through adversity. This shift in perspective enables us to be kinder to ourselves, as we acknowledge both our imperfections and our progress. In conclusion, while Stoicism does not directly use the term self-compassion, the philosophy strongly supports the concept through its teachings on acceptance, imperfection, mindfulness, and personal growth. Practicing self-compassion in a Stoic context involves responding to our struggles with patience, understanding, and empathy. It means recognizing that mistakes and hardships are part of the human experience, and that we can learn and grow from them without harshly criticizing ourselves. By incorporating these Stoic principles into our daily lives, we can cultivate a compassionate attitude toward ourselves that fosters resilience, peace, and emotional well-being. Number 5, cultivate healthy relationships. Cultivating healthy relationships is essential for leading a fulfilling and meaningful life. Whether romantic, familial, or platonic, these relationships provide a sense of connection, support, and joy, all of which contribute to our emotional well-being. They help us navigate life's challenges, and they allow us to grow as individuals. Developing these relationships requires conscious effort, clear communication, empathy, and mutual respect. Trust is the foundation of any healthy relationship, built over time through honesty, transparency, and consistency in actions and words. Without trust, relationships are fraught with uncertainty and insecurity. Trust allows individuals to feel safe and valued, enabling them to be vulnerable with one another, which is essential for emotional intimacy. In addition to trust, Effective communication plays a crucial role. Open, honest, and respectful communication is vital for the success of any relationship. Communication is not just about speaking clearly. It also involves actively listening, paying attention, and understanding the feelings and perspectives of others. When both parties can communicate openly and resolve conflicts constructively, the bond between them strengthens. Expressing needs, desires, and emotions in a non-confrontational way helps prevent resentment and promotes mutual understanding. Respect for each other's individuality and personal boundaries is key to fostering a healthy relationship. Every person has unique needs, interests, values, and goals, and acknowledging and honoring these differences is crucial. Respect means accepting someone for who they are without trying to change them or impose unrealistic expectations. Healthy relationships encourage personal growth, not conformity. Boundaries, both emotional and physical, ensure that each person feels safe, valued, and heard. They help prevent resentment and allow both individuals to maintain their sense of self within the relationship. Discussing and respecting boundaries openly can reduce tension and misunderstandings. It's important to recognize that everyone has different comfort levels, and setting healthy boundaries is an act of self-respect and mutual consideration. Empathy is another vital aspect of healthy relationships, allowing individuals to connect on a deeper emotional level. By understanding and sharing the feelings of another, empathy creates a strong emotional bond and fosters trust. Providing emotional support is also essential. People in healthy relationships are there for each other through both good times and challenges. Offering support, whether through words of encouragement, a comforting presence, or acts of kindness, helps individuals feel understood and appreciated, strengthening the relationship. Emotional support provides the stability necessary to navigate life's challenges. A healthy relationship also encourages mutual growth. Both individuals should support each other's personal development, creating an environment where both can become the best versions of themselves. This might involve supporting each other's professional pursuits, personal goals, or emotional development. When both people feel they are growing together, the relationship becomes stronger and more meaningful. Shared values and goals also play a significant role. Having a common foundation of values, such as trust, loyalty, respect, and kindness, ensures that both individuals are aligned in terms of long-term objectives and the way they approach life. Couples, friends, and family members who share similar values tend to experience greater harmony because they make decisions and prioritize their relationship in similar ways. Disagreements and conflicts are natural in any relationship, but what matters is how they are handled. Healthy relationships don't avoid conflict, but address disagreements in a respectful and productive manner. Effective conflict resolution involves active listening, staying calm, and trying to understand the other person's perspective without reacting defensively. Focusing on finding solutions that work for both parties, rather than trying to win an argument or assign blame, is essential. Taking a break when emotions run high, apologizing when necessary, and being willing to forgive are also vital to resolving conflict in a healthy way. Conflict resolution, when done constructively, can actually strengthen the relationship, as it demonstrates a commitment to working through challenges together. Appreciation plays a major role in maintaining a healthy relationship. Acknowledging the small acts of kindness, the efforts of the other person, and expressing gratitude reinforces positive feelings and deepens the bond. Simple gestures like thanking a partner for their support or telling a friend how much their friendship means can go a long way. When people feel appreciated, they are more likely to reciprocate with love, care, and attention. While connection and shared experiences are important, maintaining individuality is equally essential. Encouraging each other to pursue personal hobbies, friendships, and goals helps preserve the autonomy of both individuals within the relationship. It's crucial for each person to have the space to grow independently, which contributes to the health of the relationship. When individuals maintain their sense of self, they bring fresh perspectives and energy into the relationship, preventing it from becoming stagnant or overly dependent. Finally, a healthy relationship requires balance and reciprocity. Both individuals should contribute to the relationship in meaningful ways, whether through emotional support, shared responsibilities, or acts of kindness. While one person may need more support during difficult times, a healthy relationship ensures that the giving and receiving of care is mutual over time. This balance prevents one person from feeling overwhelmed or unappreciated and strengthens the sense of equality in the relationship. In sum, Cultivating healthy relationships is an ongoing process that demands effort, patience, and commitment from both parties. Trust, respect, communication, and empathy are all vital components that help build and sustain these bonds. By creating an environment of mutual growth, shared values, and emotional support, individuals can foster relationships that enrich their lives and contribute to a deep sense of connection and fulfillment. Number 6. Limit exposure to negativity. Limiting exposure to negativity is a crucial practice in Stoicism, as it directly aligns with the Stoic goal of cultivating inner peace, resilience, and rationality. The Stoics believe that while we cannot control external events, we do have control over our responses to them. This includes controlling what we expose ourselves to, as well as how we engage with negativity, whether from people, media, or our own internal thoughts. By limiting exposure to negativity, we safeguard our minds and emotions, allowing us to focus on what is within our control and align ourselves with virtue, rather than being swept up by destructive influences. The Stoic philosophers, particularly Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, and Seneca, emphasize that our thoughts and emotions are not dictated by external events, but by how we perceive and interpret them. According to Stoicism, our internal reactions are within our control, but to maintain clarity and peace of mind, we must be mindful of the external stimuli we allow into our lives. If we constantly expose ourselves to negative influences, such as toxic people, pessimistic news, or social media that feeds into fear and outrage, it becomes difficult to maintain a balanced and rational mindset. One of the central tenets of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control, which teaches that there are things we can control and things we cannot. We cannot control the actions of others or the events happening in the world, but we can control how much of that negativity we allow into our lives. The Stoics would advise us to limit exposure to such negativity, as it is neither productive nor helpful in achieving tranquility. This doesn't mean ignoring important events or being indifferent to suffering, but rather recognizing that dwelling excessively on negative stimuli only detracts from our ability to focus on what we can control: our own thoughts, attitudes, and actions. In practice, this means being selective about the media we consume. Constantly absorbing negative news, especially when it's sensationalized, can create feelings of anxiety, fear, or helplessness. Stoicism encourages us to recognize when we are being overwhelmed by negativity and to take steps to protect ourselves from its influence. This could mean limiting the time spent consuming news or unfollowing social media accounts that promote fear or outrage. Instead, Stoics would recommend focusing on sources that promote rational thinking, virtue, and wisdom. By doing so, we can foster a more peaceful and balanced perspective, one that isn't easily swayed by external chaos. Additionally, the Stoics urged us to be mindful of the people we surround ourselves with. Negative or toxic individuals who complain constantly, spread fear, or engage in gossip can drain our emotional energy and disturb our peace of mind. Stoicism teaches that we should seek out relationships that are grounded in virtue, wisdom, and mutual respect. While we can't completely avoid negative people, we can limit our exposure to them and choose to engage with those who inspire us to be better, to think clearly, and to act with integrity. As Marcus Aurelius advised, we should never be ashamed of being kind, but also recognize that sometimes it's necessary to distance ourselves from those who impede our growth. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of managing our inner thoughts. Negative thinking, such as excessive worry, anger, or self-criticism, can be just as harmful as external negativity. The Stoics believe that our thoughts shape our experiences, and that we must cultivate awareness and discipline over our minds. To limit exposure to negativity, we need to recognize when we are indulging in negative self-talk or allowing irrational fears to take over. Through practices like mindfulness, self-reflection, and journaling, we can observe our thoughts, challenge unhelpful patterns, and replace them with more constructive, rational perspectives. By doing this, we can prevent negativity from taking root in our minds, allowing us to remain centered and resilient. Furthermore, the Stoic practice of amor fati, love of fate, teaches us to accept everything that happens, including negative experiences, as part of life's natural course. However, this doesn't mean embracing negativity for the sake of it, but rather reframing how we view challenges. Stoicism encourages us to see obstacles as opportunities for growth, understanding that difficult situations can teach us valuable lessons and strengthen our character. By embracing life's ups and downs with a sense of acceptance, we can avoid being consumed by negativity and instead focus on what we can learn from each experience. To reinforce these ideas, Stoicism also advocates for gratitude as a way to counteract negativity. By focusing on the positive aspects of our lives, what we are grateful for, we shift our attention away from what's wrong or lacking. When we actively practice gratitude, we remind ourselves of the abundance in our lives and the things we often take for granted. This shift in focus can help us stay grounded, even when surrounded by negative influences. In summary, limiting exposure to negativity is a key aspect of Stoic philosophy, as it allows us to maintain clarity, inner peace, and focus on what is within our control. By being mindful of the media we consume, the people we engage with, and the thoughts we allow to dominate our minds, we can protect our emotional well-being and cultivate resilience. While negativity is inevitable at times, Stoicism teaches us that our response is what matters most. By choosing not to dwell on negativity, we empower ourselves to live virtuously, embrace challenges with grace, and remain steadfast in the pursuit of wisdom and tranquility. Number 7. Set realistic expectations. Setting realistic expectations is a crucial aspect of leading a balanced and fulfilling life. It involves understanding the limits of what is possible, aligning our goals and desires with our abilities and circumstances, and preparing ourselves for both success and failure in a healthy and constructive way. By setting realistic expectations, we can avoid unnecessary frustration, disappointment, and stress, while fostering a sense of accomplishment and self-acceptance. A key part of setting realistic expectations is recognizing that we cannot control everything in life. Many factors are beyond our influence, such as the actions of others, external circumstances, or unforeseen events. By understanding this, we can avoid unrealistic expectations about how much control we have over outcomes. For example, when working toward a career milestone, it's important to consider external factors like market conditions or the actions of others. While we can control our effort and attitude, we cannot guarantee a specific outcome. Understanding this allows us to stay grounded and resilient when challenges arise. Realistic expectations also begin with self-awareness. We must honestly assess our own abilities, strengths, and limitations before setting goals. By evaluating our skills, knowledge, resources, and emotional capacity, we can avoid setting goals that are too ambitious or based on an idealized view of ourselves. Setting unattainable goals can lead to burnout, frustration, and failure. For example, if someone has never run a marathon, expecting to complete one within a month may not be realistic. Instead, breaking the goal down into smaller, manageable milestones, like starting with short runs and gradually building stamina, can help prevent feelings of discouragement and lead to a sense of achievement. While ambition is a powerful driver of personal growth, it needs to be tempered with patience. Unrealistic expectations often arise from the desire for quick results or instant success. However, meaningful accomplishments usually take time and sustained effort. The process of growth involves setbacks, learning curves, and gradual progress. By recognizing that big aspirations often require patience and time, we are more likely to stay motivated, even in the face of challenges. The Stoic view, for instance, focuses not on external success, but on the cultivation of virtue, and emphasizes finding satisfaction in the journey itself, rather than expecting immediate rewards. It is also important to continuously assess our progress and adjust our expectations based on feedback and results. If a goal turns out to be unattainable within the original time frame or with the resources available, it's okay to reassess and modify expectations. Flexibility is an important part of setting realistic goals. This doesn't mean lowering standards or giving up on important objectives, but rather refining our approach or adjusting the timeline based on practical considerations. The Stoic practice of reflecting on our actions and learning from setbacks teaches us that challenges are opportunities for growth. Rather than persevering blindly, we pause, reflect, and adjust our expectations to stay aligned with what's possible. Perfectionism often leads to setting unrealistic standards, and it can cause dissatisfaction and frustration. Setting expectations too high sets us up for failure and can prevent us from appreciating our accomplishments along the way. Realistic expectations acknowledge that no task or goal will be executed perfectly. Mistakes and imperfections are part of the learning process, and expecting flawless performance can create unnecessary pressure and anxiety. Stoicism encourages us to focus on doing our best, without being overly concerned with achieving an idealized or perfect outcome. Excellence lies in consistent effort, not perfection, and the Stoics valued the progress made through discipline and reflection over the pursuit of flawless results. At the heart of setting realistic expectations is the practice of flexibility and acceptance. Life is unpredictable, and it's important to remain open to the possibility that things may not unfold as planned. Our ability to adapt to changes is crucial for maintaining a sense of well-being. When we encounter setbacks or when things don't go according to plan, it's essential to approach these situations with patience and understanding. The Stoics emphasized accepting the unpredictability of life and finding peace by focusing on what we can control: our response, attitude, and actions. Embracing life's uncertainties with openness allows us to avoid unnecessary frustration and disappointment. Ultimately, setting realistic expectations is about focusing on what is within our control. This involves accepting that while we can strive for success and work toward our goals, the outcome is not entirely up to us. External circumstances, other people's actions, and random events can influence results. By focusing on what we can control, our efforts, mindset, and responses, we set expectations that are grounded in reality. Instead of fixating on outcomes, we find satisfaction in knowing that we have done our best within the resources available to us. This is central to Stoic philosophy, which teaches us to focus on our actions and responses, rather than on external results. Setting realistic expectations is essential for maintaining balance, motivation, and emotional well-being. By understanding the limits of our control, honestly assessing our capabilities, balancing ambition with patience, and adjusting expectations based on feedback, we can set goals that are achievable and fulfilling. Avoiding perfectionism and embracing flexibility allows us to remain resilient in the face of challenges. Ultimately, setting realistic expectations empowers us to focus on the process, rather than just the outcome, and to approach life's uncertainties with acceptance and a clear sense of what is truly within our power to influence. Setting realistic expectations is a crucial aspect of leading a balanced and fulfilling life. It involves understanding the limits of what is possible, aligning our goals and desires with our abilities and circumstances, and preparing ourselves for both success and failure in a healthy and constructive way. By setting realistic expectations, we can avoid unnecessary frustration, disappointment, and stress, while fostering a sense of accomplishment and self-acceptance. A key part of setting realistic expectations is recognizing that we cannot control everything in life. Many factors are beyond our influence, such as the actions of others, external circumstances, or unforeseen events. By understanding this, we can avoid unrealistic expectations about how much control we have over outcomes. For example, when working toward a career milestone, it's important to consider external factors like market conditions or the actions of others. While we can control our effort and attitude, we cannot guarantee a specific outcome. Understanding this allows us to stay grounded and resilient when challenges arise. Realistic expectations also begin with self-awareness. We must honestly assess our own abilities, strengths, and limitations before setting goals. By evaluating our skills, knowledge, resources, and emotional capacity, we can avoid setting goals that are too ambitious or based on an idealized view of ourselves. Setting unattainable goals can lead to burnout, frustration, and failure. For example, if someone has never run a marathon, expecting to complete one within a month may not be realistic. Instead, breaking the goal down into smaller, manageable milestones, like starting with short runs and gradually building stamina, can help prevent feelings of discouragement and lead to a sense of achievement. While ambition is a powerful driver of personal growth, it needs to be tempered with patience. Unrealistic expectations often arise from the desire for quick results or instant success. However, meaningful accomplishments usually take time and sustained effort. The process of growth involves setbacks, learning curves, and gradual progress. By recognizing that big aspirations often require patience and time, we are more likely to stay motivated, even in the face of challenges. The Stoic view, for instance, focuses not on external success but on the cultivation of virtue, and emphasizes finding satisfaction in the journey itself, rather than expecting immediate rewards. It is also important to continuously assess our progress and adjust our expectations based on feedback and results. If a goal turns out to be unattainable within the original time frame or with the resources available, it's okay to reassess and modify expectations. Flexibility is an important part of setting realistic goals. This doesn't mean lowering standards or giving up on important objectives, but rather refining our approach or adjusting the timeline based on practical considerations. The Stoic practice of reflecting on our actions and learning from setbacks teaches us that challenges are opportunities for growth. Rather than persevering blindly, we pause, reflect, and adjust our expectations to stay aligned with what's possible. Perfectionism often leads to setting unrealistic standards, and it can cause dissatisfaction and frustration. Setting expectations too high sets us up for failure and can prevent us from appreciating our accomplishments along the way. Realistic expectations acknowledge that no task or goal will be executed perfectly. Mistakes and imperfections are part of the learning process, and expecting flawless performance can create unnecessary pressure and anxiety. Stoicism encourages us to focus on doing our best, without being overly concerned with achieving an idealized or perfect outcome. Excellence lies in consistent effort, not perfection, and the Stoics valued the progress made through discipline and reflection over the pursuit of flawless results. At the heart of setting realistic expectations is the practice of flexibility and acceptance. Life is unpredictable, and it's important to remain open to the possibility that things may not unfold as planned. Our ability to adapt to changes is crucial for maintaining a sense of well-being. When we encounter setbacks or when things don't go according to plan, it's essential to approach these situations with patience and understanding. The Stoics emphasized accepting the unpredictability of life and finding peace by focusing on what we can control: our response, attitude, and actions. Embracing life's uncertainties with openness allows us to avoid unnecessary frustration and disappointment. Ultimately, setting realistic expectations is about focusing on what is within our control. This involves accepting that while we can strive for success and work toward our goals, the outcome is not entirely up to us. External circumstances, other people's actions, and random events can influence results. By focusing on what we can control, our efforts, mindset, and responses, we set expectations that are grounded in reality. Instead of fixating on outcomes, we find satisfaction in knowing that we have done our best within the resources available to us. This is central to Stoic philosophy, which teaches us to focus on our actions and responses rather than on external results. Setting realistic expectations is essential for maintaining balance, motivation, and emotional well-being. By understanding the limits of our control, honestly assessing our capabilities, balancing ambition with patience, and adjusting expectations based on feedback, we can set goals that are achievable and fulfilling. Avoiding perfectionism and embracing flexibility allows us to remain resilient in the face of challenges. Ultimately, setting realistic expectations empowers us to focus on the process rather than just the outcome, and to approach life's uncertainties with acceptance and a clear sense of what is truly within our power to influence. Number 8. Forgive yourself and others. Forgiving yourself and others is an essential practice for cultivating emotional well-being, peace of mind, and healthy relationships. It involves letting go of resentment, guilt, and anger, and choosing to release negative feelings that can be emotionally and physically draining. Forgiveness is not about condoning harmful behavior or excusing mistakes, but rather about freeing yourself from the burden of negative emotions, which can hold you back from growth, happiness, and healing. It's a conscious choice to move forward with a sense of compassion, understanding, and acceptance. Self-forgiveness is a critical step in personal growth and healing. It involves letting go of self-blame, guilt, and regret for past mistakes or perceived failures. Many people struggle with self-forgiveness, often feeling unworthy of love or forgiveness due to their actions or shortcomings. However, holding on to guilt or shame is counterproductive and can lead to a cycle of self-punishment that prevents growth and healing. It is essential to recognize that everyone makes mistakes, and it is through these mistakes that we learn, evolve, and become better versions of ourselves. To forgive yourself, it's important to first acknowledge and accept responsibility for your actions. This means being honest with yourself about what happened, understanding the impact of your behavior, and recognizing how it affected others and yourself. Taking responsibility is an important step in the healing process as it allows you to reflect on your actions and learn from them. However, self-forgiveness is not about denying responsibility. It's about giving yourself permission to move past the mistake and understand that you are not defined by it. It's about practicing self-compassion, understanding that perfection is unattainable, and that everyone has the capacity to grow and change. A key part of self-forgiveness is reframing how you view your past mistakes. Instead of viewing them as irreparable faults, See them as learning opportunities. Recognize that you can make amends, change your behavior, and grow as a person. This shift in perspective can help you release the grip of guilt and allow you to embrace a more compassionate and forgiving attitude toward yourself. In Stoic philosophy, self-forgiveness aligns with the understanding that we cannot control everything, including the past. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, taught that we should not hold on to past wrongs or regrets, but instead focus on what we can control in the present moment. The Stoics believed in using every experience, good or bad, as a means for self-improvement. By practicing self-forgiveness, you accept the past as a part of your journey, while taking steps to ensure that you act virtuously in the future. Forgiving others is equally important as forgiving ourselves. Holding on to resentment, anger, or bitterness toward others can be emotionally exhausting and can hinder personal growth and happiness. People will inevitably hurt, disappoint, or betray us at times, but holding on to these negative emotions only keeps us stuck in the past. Forgiving others does not mean forgetting or excusing harmful behavior, but it means letting go of the emotional burden associated with it. When you forgive someone, you are freeing yourself from the chains of anger, hurt, and frustration that they may have caused. You are choosing to release the power that the other person has over your emotions. Forgiveness allows you to regain control over your own emotional state, allowing you to move forward with a lighter heart and mind. It's essential to understand that forgiveness is often a process, and it may take time. When someone has hurt us deeply, the pain can be intense, and the idea of forgiving them may feel impossible. However, it is important to recognize that holding on to anger or resentment often hurts us more than it hurts the other person. It can lead to stress, anxiety, and even physical health problems, while the person who caused the harm may not even be affected by our negative feelings. Forgiveness does not require that you reconcile with the person or maintain a relationship with them, especially if their behavior continues to be harmful. It's about releasing yourself from the emotional grip of the hurt, and in some cases this may involve creating healthy boundaries to protect yourself. Forgiving someone doesn't mean you are condoning their actions. It simply means you are choosing to no longer allow their behavior to control your emotional well-being. In Stoicism, forgiving others is rooted in the understanding that everyone is fallible, and that human beings are often driven by their emotions, desires, and ignorance. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote that we should not be surprised when others make mistakes because, like ourselves, they are subject to weakness and failings. Recognizing this shared vulnerability can make it easier to forgive. By choosing to see the bigger picture and acknowledging that everyone, including ourselves, is prone to errors, we can approach forgiveness with empathy and understanding. The act of forgiveness, both toward ourselves and others, brings with it numerous psychological, emotional, and physical benefits. Forgiveness allows us to release negative emotions that can build up over time, leading to feelings of peace, lightness, and emotional freedom. By letting go of anger, guilt, and resentment, we make space for more positive emotions such as compassion, empathy, and love. This shift in emotional energy can improve our mental and emotional well-being, increase our ability to form healthy relationships, and promote resilience in the face of adversity. Forgiveness also improves physical health. Chronic anger and resentment have been linked to increased stress, which in turn can contribute to health problems such as high blood pressure, heart disease, and weakened immune systems. By practicing forgiveness, we reduce the emotional stress that can take a toll on our bodies, leading to improved overall health and vitality. Moreover, forgiveness fosters a sense of inner peace and emotional balance. When we forgive, we align ourselves with the idea that we do not need to be constantly burdened by past grievances. We free ourselves from the need to replay old wounds, allowing us to live more fully in the present. This sense of emotional freedom enables us to engage with life more openly, without the weight of past hurts holding us back. Forgiveness is not just about letting go of negative emotions. It is also an important part of personal growth. It requires humility, empathy, and the recognition that we all have flaws and make mistakes. Practicing forgiveness encourages us to adopt a mindset of understanding and compassion, both for ourselves and for others. It allows us to build stronger, more meaningful relationships based on trust, acceptance, and emotional security. It also helps us cultivate emotional resilience by teaching us how to cope with pain, disappointment, and loss in a healthy way. In conclusion, forgiving yourself and others is a transformative practice that promotes emotional healing, personal growth, and inner peace. It involves letting go of resentment, guilt, and anger, and choosing to release negative emotions that can hold us back. Forgiveness allows us to move forward with a sense of freedom and lightness, and it is a crucial component of building healthy relationships, cultivating self-compassion, and achieving emotional well-being. By practicing forgiveness, we free ourselves from the emotional burdens of the past and open ourselves to greater peace, joy, and growth in the present and future. Number 9. Engage in acts of kindness. Engaging in acts of kindness is a core aspect of Stoic philosophy and plays a significant role in fostering personal growth, building meaningful relationships, and contributing to a harmonious society. Stoicism teaches us to focus on cultivating virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, and one of the ways these virtues manifest is through our actions toward others. Acts of kindness, when aligned with Stoic principles, are not driven by the desire for external recognition or rewards, but are seen as an expression of inner virtue and an opportunity to fulfill our moral duty as part of a larger community. The Stoics believe that humans are inherently social beings, and it is our natural inclination to contribute to the well-being of others. According to Marcus Aurelius, we are made to work together and help one another, and through acts of kindness we fulfill our role in the grand scheme of life. These actions should be motivated by a sense of duty, not a desire for personal gain. The Stoic idea of justice involves acting in a way that benefits not just ourselves, but also those around us, regardless of whether we receive anything in return. Acts of kindness in Stoicism are also tied to the idea of sympathy, which refers to the interconnectedness of all human beings. The Stoics believe that by recognizing the shared human experience, our vulnerabilities, struggles, and desires, we can cultivate compassion for others. Helping others, whether through a kind word, a generous gesture, or offering support in times of need, is an acknowledgement of our shared humanity. We give to others not because we expect something in return, but because it is a reflection of the natural, rational order of the universe, which is rooted in mutual cooperation and benefit. Engaging in kindness, according to Stoicism, is not about acting out of an emotional impulse or seeking validation. It is not about doing kind deeds to make ourselves feel good or to gain recognition from others. Rather, Stoics encourage us to perform acts of kindness with a sense of inner purpose, understanding that such actions are an expression of virtue and part of living in accordance with nature. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus emphasized that we should act kindly because it is the right thing to do, not because we seek approval or external rewards. Acts of kindness should be done selflessly, without expecting any form of recognition or praise. Stoicism also teaches us to practice kindness with wisdom and discernment. Not all acts of kindness are equal, and the Stoics believe that it is important to act with judgment and propriety. For example, giving help or resources to others should not be done in a way that enables harmful behavior or fosters dependence. Instead, Stoicism encourages helping others in a way that promotes their well-being and encourages their growth. This is closely related to the Stoic idea of eudaimonia, or flourishing, which refers to living in a way that leads to true happiness, virtue, and fulfillment. By being kind in a thoughtful and measured way, we contribute to the flourishing of others as well as ourselves. One of the most powerful aspects of Stoic kindness is its ability to foster resilience and emotional control. When we engage in acts of kindness, we are not just benefiting others, we are also cultivating our own emotional well-being. The act of helping others shifts the focus from our own concerns to the well-being of those around us. This can help reduce feelings of frustration, anxiety, or self-centeredness. By focusing on what we can do for others, we learn to manage our emotions and become less reactive to external circumstances. This aligns with the Stoic practice of focusing on what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, rather than being overly concerned with external events. Acts of kindness also help to strengthen the bonds between individuals and foster a sense of community. In Stoicism, relationships are viewed as essential for a meaningful life. The Stoics believe that human beings are naturally inclined to connect with others, and through kindness, we reinforce these connections. These acts help create trust, mutual respect, and a sense of shared purpose. Whether it is offering a listening ear, providing assistance, or showing empathy, small acts of kindness can have a profound impact on the relationships we cultivate, and in turn contribute to a more harmonious and cooperative society. Engaging in acts of kindness also teaches us humility. In performing kind deeds for others, we recognize that we are not superior to those we are helping. Stoicism encourages us to be humble and to acknowledge that in many ways, we are all dependent on each other. No one is completely self-sufficient, and recognizing our mutual interdependence can foster gratitude, empathy, and a sense of community. By humbling ourselves in service to others, we also learn to value what truly matters in life: virtue, character, and meaningful connections, rather than external rewards or recognition. Furthermore, Stoic kindness is a means of cultivating inner peace. When we act kindly, we align our actions with our values, which contributes to a sense of integrity and harmony within ourselves. It allows us to live in accordance with nature and our true selves, rather than being driven by external desires or emotions. This peace of mind is one of the central tenets of Stoic practice. The more we practice kindness, the more we reinforce the connection between our actions and our deeper sense of virtue. In conclusion, engaging in acts of kindness is a key element of Stoic philosophy that contributes to personal growth, emotional well-being, and the flourishing of others. Acts of kindness, when performed without expectation of reward or recognition, reflect the Stoic virtues of justice, wisdom, and empathy. By helping others selflessly, we contribute to the larger interconnected web of humanity and fulfill our natural role within the community. Kindness, when approached with wisdom, discernment, and humility, not only benefits others but also fosters our own emotional resilience, integrity, and peace of mind. Ultimately, Stoic kindness allows us to live in harmony with nature, cultivate our own virtue, and build stronger, more meaningful relationships with others. Number 10. Maintain a balanced lifestyle. Maintaining a balanced lifestyle is a central tenet of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics teach that true happiness and tranquility are found not in external circumstances but in the cultivation of inner virtue and self-control. A balanced lifestyle, from a Stoic perspective, involves living in harmony with nature, regulating desires, and finding moderation in all aspects of life. Stoicism advocates for the pursuit of balance between the mind, body, and spirit, as well as in our external activities and inner practices. This balance is essential for achieving personal growth, peace of mind, and living in accordance with reason. At the heart of Stoic thought is the understanding that human beings are capable of mastering their emotions and desires through the exercise of virtue. The Stoics emphasize the importance of controlling our impulses and emotions, and living with purpose and clarity. To maintain a balanced lifestyle, it is necessary to recognize that we cannot control everything in life, but we can control how we respond to situations. The Stoics encourage us to focus on what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, while accepting what is outside our control with equanimity. One of the key principles of Stoicism that contributes to a balanced lifestyle is the practice of moderation. The Stoics believe that excess in any form, whether it is in food, pleasure, wealth, or work, can disturb our emotional equilibrium and lead us away from virtue. For instance, the Stoic philosopher Seneca warned against the dangers of indulgence, particularly when it comes to material comforts and pleasures. He argued that overindulgence in these things creates attachments and dependencies, which can lead to dissatisfaction and emotional instability. By practicing moderation, we avoid becoming slaves to our desires, and instead we cultivate contentment and gratitude for what we have. A balanced lifestyle in Stoicism also involves managing our time and energy wisely. The Stoics recognize that time is one of our most precious resources, and therefore we must use it in accordance with our values and priorities. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, frequently reflected on the fleeting nature of time, urging himself to make the most of each day. To live a balanced life, the Stoics recommend carefully considering how we spend our time, ensuring that our activities align with our ultimate goals and contribute to our personal development. This includes engaging in practices such as self-reflection, philosophical study, and maintaining relationships that nurture our character and growth. In terms of physical well-being, Stoicism encourages us to maintain a healthy body as a means of supporting a clear mind. The Stoics valued physical health, but they did not believe in excessive focus on the body or indulgence in pleasures like overeating or laziness. Instead, they advocated for regular exercise, moderation in diet and sleep, seeing the body as a vessel that supports our ability to live virtuously. Epictetus, for example, emphasized that a healthy body enables us to fulfill our duties and engage in rational activities, but it should not be idolized or overindulged. A balanced lifestyle, therefore, involves respecting the body as a tool for achieving our goals, without allowing it to dominate our desires. Equally important to a balanced lifestyle in Stoicism is the cultivation of emotional resilience. The Stoics believe that maintaining emotional balance in the face of life's challenges is essential to living virtuously. This includes practicing mindfulness and self-awareness, understanding that emotions like anger, fear, or frustration are natural, but should not control us. Instead, Stoics encourage us to develop the ability to pause, reflect, and choose how we respond to these emotions. This practice of emotional regulation allows us to maintain tranquility and balance, even in the most difficult circumstances. By focusing on our internal responses rather than external events, we can achieve a sense of calm and control that supports a balanced life. Another vital aspect of balance in Stoic philosophy is the pursuit of wisdom. The Stoics believe that wisdom is the foundation of a well-balanced life. Wisdom enables us to discern what is truly important and to act in accordance with virtue. It teaches us to live in harmony with nature and to make decisions that contribute to our overall well-being. Wisdom also helps us navigate the inevitable ups and downs of life with equanimity, knowing that external circumstances do not determine our happiness. A balanced life, therefore, is one in which we actively seek knowledge, reflection, and personal growth, continually striving to align our actions with our values. In terms of relationships, Stoicism promotes balance by encouraging us to approach others with fairness, kindness, and respect. While the Stoics understood that relationships are essential to a meaningful life, they also believed in maintaining boundaries and not becoming overly dependent on others for our happiness. They taught that our emotional well-being should not be solely reliant on the approval or actions of others. Instead, we should focus on fostering relationships that are based on mutual respect and shared values, rather than seeking external validation or approval. Furthermore, Stoicism advocates for balance between work and rest. The Stoics recognize the importance of fulfilling our duties and contributing to society, but they also emphasize the need for rest and relaxation. The balance between activity and rest is crucial to maintaining our mental and physical well-being, as well as our capacity for rational thought and reflection. Overworking or neglecting our personal needs can lead to burnout, frustration, and a loss of perspective. The Stoics encourage us to pursue our goals with dedication, but also to recognize the value of pausing, reflecting, and recharging in order to maintain our sense of balance. Finally, a balanced lifestyle in Stoicism involves the practice of gratitude. The Stoics teach that contentment comes from appreciating what we have rather than constantly striving for more. By practicing gratitude, we can maintain balance in the face of both abundance and scarcity, accepting that what we have is sufficient for our happiness. Gratitude allows us to see the beauty and value in our lives, helping us to avoid the negative emotions of envy, jealousy, or dissatisfaction that can upset our balance. In conclusion, maintaining a balanced lifestyle according to Stoicism requires a thoughtful and intentional approach to living. It involves practicing moderation, managing our time and energy wisely, caring for our physical well-being, cultivating emotional resilience, and pursuing wisdom. A balanced life also includes nurturing healthy relationships, balancing work and rest, and practicing gratitude. By focusing on what is within our control and aligning our actions with our values, we can create a life that is grounded in virtue, tranquility, and personal growth. The Stoics remind us that balance is not about perfection, but about finding harmony in the pursuit of a virtuous and meaningful life. Thanks for watching. I hope these 10 Stoic principles help you cultivate more peace and tranquility in your life. Remember, peace of mind isn't something that happens overnight, but by consistently practicing these ideas, you can transform how you approach challenges and create lasting inner calm. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Drop a comment below sharing which Stoic principle resonates with you the most, and feel free to share any of your own tips for achieving peace of mind. Until next time, stay calm and keep practicing Stoicism.